Have you ever met someone who sees right through people, yet trusts almost no one? Someone calm, quiet, observant. They listen carefully. They notice everything, but they rarely open their own heart. That person might be an INFJ. The INFJ personality type is often called the rarest personality in the Myers-Briggs system. They are known for deep empathy, powerful intuition, and emotional intelligence. But there is one thing many people notice about INFJs. They don't trust easily. Not because they are cold, not because they are arrogant, and definitely not because they don't care. In fact, it is the opposite. INFJs care so deeply that they have learned to protect their trust very carefully. So why do INFJs struggle with trust? Why do they take so long to open up? And why, once their trust is broken, do they rarely give it back? Let's explore the quiet psychology behind the INFJ mind. And by the end of this video, you may understand why the most empathetic personality type can also be one of the most guarded. 1. INFJs have been hurt before. Another deep reason INFJs struggle with trust comes from past experience. Many INFJs have a long history of emotional disappointment. Why? Because INFJs give deeply. When they care about someone, they care with their entire heart. They listen. They support. They understand. They forgive. Sometimes too much. Many INFJs grow up being the emotional support system for others. Friends come to them with problems. Family members lean on them. Strangers feel safe opening up to them. And INFJs often give their time and energy freely. But there is a painful pattern many INFJs eventually notice. People love receiving their empathy, but fewer people return it. Many INFJs have experienced one-sided relationships. Friendships where they gave everything, but received very little emotional understanding in return. Over time, this creates emotional fatigue. Not bitterness, just caution. The INFJ mind begins to ask quiet questions. Will this person truly understand me? Will they respect my depth? Will they stay when things become difficult? Or will they only stay while things are easy? Because INFJs know something important. Many people enjoy the warmth of an INFJ. But not everyone is prepared for the depth of an INFJ. And once an INFJ realizes this difference, trust becomes slower, more careful, more intentional. 2. INFJs see more than they say. One of the biggest reasons INFJs don't trust easily is simple. They see too much. The INFJ personality is driven by a cognitive function called introverted intuition. This function quietly observes patterns in people. Not just words. Not just behavior, but emotional patterns, motives, hidden intentions, energy. An INFJ may meet someone for only 10 minutes, but inside their mind, hundreds of small details begin connecting. How the person talks, how they treat others, how their emotions shift, how authentic they feel. Most people move through conversations casually. INFJs do not. They analyze everything, quietly, silently, constantly. This does not mean INFJs judge people harshly, but it does mean they notice contradictions. And contradictions create caution. If someone's words do not match their energy, INFJs feel it instantly. If someone seems kind but manipulative underneath, INFJs sense the tension. If someone seems charming but emotionally shallow, INFJs pick it up. And when these signals appear, the INFJ mind quietly steps back. Not with drama, not with confrontation, just distance. Because INFJs know something many people forget. Trust is not built on words. Trust is built on consistency. And INFJs watch consistency very carefully. 3. INFJs guard their inner world. The inner world of an INFJ is extremely complex. From the outside, INFJs may appear calm and simple. But inside their minds, there is an entire universe. Deep thoughts, complex emotions, endless reflections, philosophical questions, meaning, purpose, human nature. The INFJ personality often spends hours analyzing life, analyzing relationships, analyzing themselves. Their emotional world is rich and layered. And this is exactly why trust matters so much to them. Letting someone into their inner world is not a casual decision. It is a sacred one. Because once someone enters that world, they see the real INFJ. Not the calm surface, but the vulnerable depth underneath. And many INFJs have learned that not everyone respects that vulnerability. Some people misunderstand it. Some dismiss it. Some even exploit it. So INFJs begin to protect their inner world carefully. They may talk about everyday things easily. Work, ideas, interests. But the deepest parts of their mind remain hidden. Until trust is proven. And that proof takes time. 4. INFJs value authenticity. One of the strongest INFJ traits is their love for authenticity. INFJs are deeply sensitive to emotional truth. They do not like fake conversations. They do not enjoy shallow relationships. They crave sincerity, depth, realness. If someone pretends to be something they are not, INFJs feel uncomfortable. Not because they are judgmental, but because authenticity matters deeply to them. The INFJ personality is constantly searching for genuine connection. Someone who is honest about their flaws. Someone who does not perform for social approval. Someone who is emotionally real. But here is the challenge. Authenticity is rare. Many social interactions are built on politeness, image, impression, small talk, surface connection. INFJs can navigate these interactions politely, but they rarely trust people in these spaces. Because trust requires authenticity, and authenticity takes time to reveal. INFJs often wait patiently, watching, listening, observing. They notice how someone behaves over weeks, months, sometimes even years. Only when someone consistently shows honesty does the INFJ heart slowly open. And when it does, the connection becomes incredibly deep. 5. INFJs fear emotional betrayal. For INFJs, betrayal is not just a mistake. It is something much deeper. When an INFJ trusts someone, they share parts of themselves that few people ever see. Their fears, their dreams, their insecurities, their deepest hopes. This level of vulnerability is rare for them. So if someone breaks that trust, the impact is powerful. Not loud, not dramatic, but profound. INFJs do not easily forget emotional betrayal. Because to them, trust is sacred. It represents emotional safety, mutual understanding, respect for vulnerability. When that safety disappears, something inside the INFJ closes. They may forgive. INFJs are actually very forgiving people. But forgiveness and trust are not the same thing. Trust must be rebuilt slowly. And sometimes, it never fully returns. This is why INFJs appear guarded. Not because they assume the worst about people, but because they know how painful broken trust can be. And once you understand the INFJ mind, this caution begins to make sense. 6. INFJs need emotional depth. Another reason INFJs hesitate to trust is emotional mismatch. INFJs experience emotions deeply. They reflect deeply. They communicate meaningfully. But not everyone connects at that level. Some people prefer light conversations, casual interactions, surface emotions. And there is nothing wrong with that. But for INFJs, emotional depth is essential. If someone consistently avoids deeper conversations, INFJs feel distance. If someone dismisses emotions or vulnerability, INFJs notice immediately. This does not make the other person bad. It simply means the emotional wavelengths are different. And INFJs know that trust requires emotional compatibility. They need to feel that someone can handle depth. That someone can sit with uncomfortable emotions. That someone can understand complexity. When that emotional capacity is present, INFJs slowly relax. Their guard lowers. Their openness grows. But until they sense that depth, the walls remain, quietly standing. 7. INFJs in friendships. Friendship means something very different to an INFJ. For many people, friendship is about shared activities, hanging out, laughing together, passing time. But for the INFJ personality type, friendship goes deeper than that. Much deeper. INFJs are not looking for many friends. They are looking for real ones. Just a few. But those few matter deeply. An INFJ would rather have 2 authentic friendships than 20 casual ones. Because to an INFJ, friendship is about emotional safety. It is about understanding. It is about loyalty. And most importantly, it is about depth. When an INFJ forms a friendship, they invest emotionally. They listen carefully. They remember details. They care about your struggles. They notice when your voice sounds tired. They remember what worries you. They remember your dreams. Many people feel incredibly understood when they are friends with an INFJ. Because INFJs pay attention in ways most people do not. But here is the quiet truth. INFJs rarely feel that same level of understanding in return. And this is where trust becomes complicated. Because many INFJs spend years being the listener, the emotional supporter, the quiet counselor. They help others process emotions. They offer advice. They comfort people through difficult moments. But when the INFJ needs the same support, something strange often happens. The room becomes quiet. Some friends change the subject. Some friends do not know how to respond. Some simply disappear. And the INFJ notices. Not with anger, but with sadness. Because INFJs believe friendship should be mutual, not one-sided. So over time, the INFJ personality begins to filter friendships carefully. They start asking quiet questions. Does this person truly listen? Do they respect emotional depth? Do they care when I struggle? Or do they only appear when they need something? These questions slowly shape the INFJ's trust. And this is why INFJs often keep a small circle. A very small circle. But inside that circle, the loyalty is powerful. INFJs are some of the most loyal friends a person can have. They do not abandon people easily. They support their friends during dark moments. They defend the people they care about. And they remain present through life's storms. But that loyalty only exists when trust exists. If trust breaks repeatedly, something changes. The INFJ begins to pull away. Quietly. Without drama. Without confrontation. The messages become shorter. The conversations become less frequent. Eventually, distance appears. Many people misunderstand this behavior. They think the INFJ suddenly lost interest. But the truth is much deeper. The INFJ did not leave suddenly. They slowly lost emotional safety. And once emotional safety disappears, the INFJ heart begins closing. Because to the INFJ personality, friendship must feel genuine. It must feel safe. It must feel real. Without that foundation, the connection fades. Not out of cruelty, but out of self-protection. 8. INFJs in romantic relationships. Romantic relationships are even more complex for the INFJ personality. Because when INFJs love someone, they love deeply. Very deeply. The INFJ heart does not do casual love easily. They do not enter relationships simply for excitement, or convenience, or social expectation. INFJs search for something meaningful. A connection that feels almost spiritual. They want emotional intimacy, mental connection, shared values, shared vision, and most importantly, they want authenticity. When an INFJ falls in love, they invest their entire emotional world. They want to know their partner's mind, their fears, their childhood memories, their dreams for the future. Surface-level love does not satisfy the INFJ soul. They crave emotional closeness, deep conversation, mutual vulnerability. But this level of depth also creates risk. Because opening their heart fully makes INFJs extremely vulnerable. And INFJs know this. Which is why many INFJs move slowly in relationships. Very slowly. They observe first. They listen. They study the person's behavior over time. They watch how the person handles stress. They notice how the person treats others. They analyze whether the person is emotionally mature. Because INFJs know something important about relationships. Chemistry is not enough. Trust must exist. And trust must be stable. If an INFJ senses dishonesty, manipulation, or emotional instability, their intuition becomes alert. Very alert. Sometimes they cannot explain it logically, but something inside them whispers. Something feels off. And INFJs have learned to respect that intuition. Because many INFJs ignored their intuition in the past. And it led to heartbreak. So now, they listen more carefully. This is why some people think INFJs are hard to date. Not because INFJs are demanding, but because they value emotional integrity. They want honesty. They want consistency. They want emotional responsibility. And once an INFJ finally trusts their partner, something beautiful happens. They become incredibly devoted. INFJs support their partners with intense loyalty. They encourage growth. They celebrate their partner's dreams. They notice small emotional shifts. They provide comfort in quiet ways. Sometimes through long conversations. Sometimes through silent understanding. Sometimes through simply being present. But this deep love also has a fragile side. Because if trust breaks inside an INFJ relationship, the damage can be severe. The INFJ does not easily recover from betrayal. They may try. They may forgive. But something inside them changes. The emotional door slowly closes. And once that door closes completely, the INFJ rarely reopens it. This behavior is often called the INFJ door slam. It is not revenge. It is not cruelty. It is emotional survival. When trust is repeatedly broken, the INFJ chooses peace over attachment. And they walk away. Quietly. 9. INFJs test trust silently. INFJs rarely announce that they are testing someone's trustworthiness. But it happens constantly. In small ways. Almost invisible ways. They watch how someone treats strangers. They observe how someone talks about people who are not present. They notice how someone reacts when they are upset. Do they become defensive? Do they listen? Do they show empathy? These small moments reveal character. And character determines trust. INFJs are not looking for perfection. They know everyone has flaws. But they look for emotional integrity. Someone who can admit mistakes. Someone who values honesty. Someone who respects boundaries. Over time, these small signals accumulate. And slowly, the INFJ mind reaches a conclusion. This person is safe. Or, this person is not safe. Once that decision forms, it is rarely random. It is the result of hundreds of quiet observations. 10. How INFJs decide someone is trustworthy. Trust for an INFJ is never instant. It grows slowly, layer by layer, through observation, through experience, through emotional consistency. The INFJ mind is always scanning for patterns. Because patterns reveal truth. Not promises. Not words. Patterns.